What's up, everybody? Today we're going to take a look at maximizing your efficiency in the muscle up. So if you already have muscle ups, this is kind of for you. If you don't have muscle ups, you can reference another video that I posted. I'm going to put down in the bio that you can take a look at some things you can do to help gain strength on the rings and get your first muscle up. We're going to talk about a few things that might help you today, but mainly we're going to talk about efficiency in performing muscle ups, specifically big sets or when they're mixed in with any other CrossFit workout, mainly because the quarterfinals are coming up. The open is over, quarterfinals are coming up. We didn't see a set of rings in the open, and odds are we're probably going to see them in the quarterfinals. The equipment hasn't been announced yet, but it never hurts to get some more tips. If you have moved on to the next stage, or maybe you didn't move on to the next stage, but you do want to do the workouts and you are able to do ring muscle ups, we're going to go over some tips to help maximize your efficiency in those. So the first thing we're going to talk about is catching yourself high in the rings. And you're going to want to try to do this early on in the workout because you're going to have more strength, more explosiveness from your hips. You're going to have more, you're not going to be as fatigued as you will be later in the workout. So if you can take advantage of this, it's actually going to help save your shoulders, your arms from a lot of fatigue by catching yourself higher in the rings. When you see a lot of people doing muscle ups, a lot of times they catch very low in the rings where the shoulder front of the delt will be at the top of the ring. What I'm talking about is trying to catch with your elbows partially already extended. That's going to reduce the range of motion that you have to perform the dip in and allow you to save your arms, a smaller muscle that is more likely to fatigue first rather than the muscles of your hips, your core, and everything else that you're using in the kip swing to get up to the top of the rings. In order to catch higher on the rings, we have to emphasize, one, our kip, and two, making sure that we maintain active shoulders and active arms while we're performing our kip swing. When I'm doing this, I'm thinking about getting my shoulders as high as possible above the rings through my kip and through pulling on the rings so that I can catch in that high position. I'm not thinking about necessarily bringing my hips up any higher or trying to bring my legs up super high. I'm trying to think of what is the best possible way that I can get my shoulders as high as I can on top of the rings so I can catch in that nice high position. So one thing that's forgotten about on your pull is going to be that scap pull or that scap pull-up. So most people think that pulling with the rings or pulling on the rings or keeping an active action on the rings is only at the elbow. You can still pull down with your lats and your scap before you bend at the elbow to keep that tension on the rings through your kip. That's going to help you develop more power and put yourself higher on the rings in that catch position. Next thing we're going to talk about is elongating the backswing on the rings for your muscle up. So there's two ways that we can do this. One is going to be practicing your different shapes. So the hollow position or hollow rock position, creating strength, endurance in that position, as well as the Superman position. So being able to extend at the bottom of the swing in the kip on the rings. Right? The longer we can elongate that backswing, the more momentum we can create as we swing through to start our next kip. Right? We can bring our legs through, we can snap our hips through more, we can bring our body weight through more by elongating that backswing. So the better that you can create those shapes, the more you're able to be flexible and move into those different positions is going to give you more momentum in your swing and developing energy below the rings to help you catch higher on the rings or get higher on the rings or save yourself a ring muscle up that you might not have gotten by not elongating that backswing quite enough. Another thing you can think of when you're trying to elongate that backswing is pressing the rings forward out in front of you while you're on your backswing. Anything you can do, again, to kind of elongate that backswing, create more momentum as you return back to getting back on top of the rings. First thing you can do to maximize your efficiency on the rings is going to be make sure that you can hit your positions properly. Okay, so the better you can hit your positions, the more open you can be in a lot of your joints, the more momentum you're going to be able to create both on your swing, your kip, and put yourself in a better position on top of the rings so that you don't cause as much stress or fatigue with each rep that you're doing. So to focus on that, we're going to focus on foam rolling and stretching before we actually attempt to do our muscle up and make sure that all the joints in the different parts of the body are opened up and warmed up so that we can complete a good rep. Thank you guys for tuning in today. Put any questions down in the comments below. Remember to like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.